Let's get all sorted. I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. Today we go back in time.
Yeah, to like last week.
Hello, everyone. As always, if you want to check out links to everything we're talking about today, head on to breakingdads.com.
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 There was a bunch of images, so there's lots of stuff to look at.
This is a pretty episode, which
Yes.
is why we choose to do this form of recording with audio.
As opposed to a video.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Technology.
Nobody wants to see us. Most people barely want to hear us, so I can get that.
If we could do this in cuniform on stone, we would, but we can't.
I think that might be the first podcast cuneiform reference I've ever encountered, so that's good. Bonus material.
And if you know cuneiform, go visit Jeff at Still Sorting.
Yes.
Leave him a message.
Yeah. And if you would like to rate us on iTunes and help other people discover us, that'd be great. We'd appreciate it.
That'd be wonderful.
We'd say thank you if we knew who you were.
So where did you go last weekend?
Okay, well, last weekend I was lucky enough to take the whole family out to the Surrey Museum to view an exhibit by the Vancouver LEGO Club, and it was called Lego, a Fraser Valley Odyssey.
That's up here in Canada.
That's up here in Canada. Surrey, Canada. If you go to Surrey, England.
Or Vancouver.
Yes.
Vancouver, Washington. So people know it's in
Yes.
Surrey,
Canada.
Vancouver, Canada.
That's Surrey, Vancouver, Canada. Is that how we're giving the address now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's
yes,
in British Columbia
right,
for you geography nerds out there. What is often called the Pacific Northwest, but is the southwest of
It's very
our
confusing.
country. Yeah, it really is.
My sister-in-law lives in Surrey, England. It's weird.
Which is they're very similar towns, are they not?
Yeah, no.
In that they're both called Surrey.
Yes.
So anyway,
So what did you all see?
so a Lego, a Fraser Valley Odyssey. It's actually the 7th display the Vancouver LEGO Club has done for the Surrey Museum since 2003. So it took 30 VLC members close to 1,000 hours of work to put these displays together. They used around 1 million bricks. There's some members said less than, some members said more than. I noticed in different interviews.
Just depends on how
My guess
haggard
is
they looked.
nobody thought to count at any point.
What?
Yes.
Lazy.
And my favorite quote is the curator of the museum said, "It's not all historically accurate." Which is, I think, very valid. As you'll see, if you've looked at some of the images, you'll go, "Yeah, no kidding."
Yes.
But it is extremely fun, and it does cover 20 millennia of Fraser Valley history.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, in only 6 displays.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's impressive. So it's nice. You go in and you go upstairs and you see the first one, and you basically get to walk through time of our part of the world here. So we start at the Ice Age because you have to, I think. Like, where else would you start?
Big Bang. That's the dark lobby.
Just a single 1x1 black brick.
Yeah. But they didn't start there.
They started the Ice Age. They went forward a bit of time, which I feel is good. And this really sets the not all historically accurate theme off with a bang by having a woolly mammoth roam the plains of Cloverdale.
Yeah.
Which is something that never technically happened.
Do you know this? Were you there?
I wasn't there. To be fair, I didn't have a camera there. But I'm pretty sure science would have told me if it happened. But Lego just said it did happen.
It was all Pangea. It wasn't Cloverdale.
The Science v Lego.
That's probably.
Was it Pangea during the Ice Age?
No,
I don't think it was. It already was broken up.
Yeah.
Oh, now who doesn't know?
Science. Geology.
But if that wasn't enough, so you want to debate the mammoth thing, that's fine. They also had a Time Lord having a picnic on a glacier.
Again. Valid.
Well, it would be.
If you were as big a Doctor Who fan as we are in this house, then that's totally valid. He's real.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Don't ever tell my 5-year-old daughter that he's not.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. So she would probably enjoy seeing him there having a picnic. What I want to know is, like, he's got all this fruit and stuff, and I'm like, isn't that all going to be frozen?
Yeah.
The scarf helps, though. It's a very valid time to be wearing the scarf. And this first display is a little empty. But that's because they kind of ran out of time when they were building it.
Oh, yeah.
But when you see the rest of the displays, you forgive them instantly because they're pretty phenomenal. So moving from the Ice Age, you get to go to pre-colonial coastal BC before it was discovered.
Right.
Which is, when they had all those people living there.
Yeah.
But before it was discovered.
All the first people living
yes.
there.
As Eddie Izzard says, through the cunning use of flags. So there's a beautiful Salish First Nations fishing village with brick-built canoes and giant redwood trees, and it's very pretty and lush and lovely and idyllic. It looks nice. Yeah. And there's a time traveler somewhere in there. I didn't find the time traveler in that one. I think because all the trees.
So did they hide the time traveler in amongst all the different?
Every single display has some form of time traveler, either Doctor Who or you've got Marty McFly and Doc Brown. So it's pretty fun. So from there we move into the colonial history. So when the flags came.
Boo.
Yeah, boo hiss. And they got a nice rendition of Fort Langley with the trading post, and you've got some frontier farms and gold miners and tall ships coming in to trade, and it's all very, very pretty again, and natural. It looks all nice with browns and greens and blues.
And Fort Langley's still there. It's kind of a neat.
Yeah, you can actually go see real Fort Langley as a thing.
As a weird
if you were traveling in this neck of the hood, I would rate it as an okay attraction.
Yeah, no, it's nothing spectacular. It's a curiosity.
Like if you're only here for one day, just know it exists.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're here for like a month,
if you live here,
if you live here, check it out. If you live here, you're going there for school at some point. Yeah. So
we happened to be down there and thought we went there so many times, and then eventually went, I guess we should go check out Fort. And then we were like, oh, okay, well, we've checked out Fort Langley.
Yes,
I think it's like a lot of those historical places.
Yeah,
though. It doesn't necessarily add anything essential.
No,
to your life. I don't
know. No, I think one of the problems with those kind of tourist attractions is they remind you too much of school.
They kind of do.
Because you go and you're like, oh, I've seen all this with school.
Yeah,
and I
never got to. So going and seeing the barrel making guy and the blacksmith do his thing, that was kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
Our kids did go, whoa, that's how people stored and shipped stuff.
Yeah,
and that's how people made keys and things like. I guess it is a good.
Yeah, okay. So there is a coolness factor. I guess I'm just too jaded.
You are too jaded. You know all
been
that
there,
stuff.
Done that.
Making your own barrels in your basement.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, barrel maker, have you heard of the internet? And then I drop the mic and leave, which I actually had him forge the mic.
I'll send you a barrel of my artisanal pickles.
Yes. I agree. There is a big crossover between Fort Langley and Yaletown.
That's true.
Isn't there? People in Yaletown look at the Fort Langley guys and go, you call that a mustache?
They go training there.
That's right. So that was colonial times, and that was fun. And then you get to what they call the present. And I will say it's an amazing minifig scale rendition of a chunk of Surrey. You've got some great city landmarks that if you lived here or even if you visited, you can probably recognize. They've got the Patella Bridge or the Patullo Bridge, depending on how you want to pronounce. Nobody knows how to pronounce that bridge.
Patello, isn't it?
I always go, or Patella. I often say, even though there's no A at the end of it.
Is it named after a guy or?
Yeah, it is. But I think but so is Gagliardi, the street. And
I'm gonna go with the Spanish and go Patullo.
Yes.
I don't know how
Patella Bridge. I always went with, even though again that's not a good reading of the word. But that's all me and my friends always call the Patella Bridge. And it's a death trap is really what it is.
It is.
It's disguised as a bridge, but it's just Darwinism in civic structure form.
And it's been good now that we have a toll bridge that all the truck traffic avoids the toll bridge and goes over this bridge, which was kind of why they built the other bridge.
Right, yes.
Because it's a death trap and you shouldn't have trucks going over it.
You shouldn't, but you do.
Yeah.
Because the lanes are about 8/10 of a truck width.
Yeah, well, we measured in toothpicks.
Yes.
It's 17 toothpicks wide.
So it's great. So they have a rendition of this bridge, and it has the mandatory traffic halting accident on the bridge deck.
Of course.
So I thought, that's accurate.
Yeah.
You can see the SkyTrain in the background. with, I guess, all the people on the SkyTrain laughing at all the people on the bridge, going, ha ha ha, you should have taken transit.
Yeah.
And then complaining that
it doesn't go into Surrey very far.
And there's the Surrey Memorial Hospital, a very nice rendition of that. I like, there's a local furniture chain in BC, I BC, Alberta, Western Canada. I have no idea. I know that the owner is one of the richest people in Western Canada.
There's more than one store.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
They're doing very well.
Yes.
But it's called The Brick.
But
So if you're going to build a store to put in your Lego display, The Brick.
That makes sense.
I laughed when I saw it. So
I'm sure you did.
with whatever club member built that, kudos to you.
Yeah.
I appreciated it. I was very happy. And then they have there's in Cloverdale, which is right by Surrey, there's a old time movie theater that just closed down last year called the Clova, and there's a beautiful rendition of it in the city, and it's of course showing the Lego movie.
Of course.
Because what else are you going to show?
That's a key reference.
And it's nice on the mock itself. The marquee. They took a picture of the actual marquee when the theater was showing the Lego movie as the image of the marquee.
That's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. I missed that theater. Anyway, so things are good, right? You know, like times were great in the Ice Age. You had mammoths and picnics, and times are great in for the First Nations people with beautiful trees, and times are great in the present.
If you're white, and
a beautiful,
yellow.
Settler. If you're yellow,
sorry,
yeah, everyone.
If you're one of those yellow colonial settlers,
yes, things are great, right? But then apparently the future is not going to look so bright for the Lower Mainland, as the next display was the near future.
Okay,
and because of global warming and rising tides, Surrey inhabitants have to make some concessions.
Okay.
Yeah, like living in the higher levels of some dilapidated buildings, which are falling down, because the water is up high.
Right.
And they had to close the Portman Bridge down for traffic so that they could farm on it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like you would do.
Yeah.
And you'd have to construct some shanty towns out of shipping containers.
Totally valid.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, the whole thing is like Waterworld, but without Kevin Costner. I think mostly because they haven't somehow made a Kevin Costner minifig. I don't know what Kevin Costner role.
Yeah.
Get the Draft Day minifig.
There's no.
See him in his suit and visor. I don't know. The Postman, maybe? I don't know what movie Kevin Costner's done. Dances with Wolves?
Yeah, that's yeah.
But Dances with Wolves, if they did sets for that, they would only have to be like 2,500 piece sets that take a really long time to put together, but are worth it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But in hindsight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stand up as well as they did maybe when they first came out.
I feel like this is all the future that you're painting here is highly unrealistic, because I kind of feel like the mega earthquake that's going to hit us is going to render all of this sort of obsolete. They should have just dumped a bunch of bins of Lego on the ground and walked away and just went, here's us after the earthquake that we're not prepared for.
And you can simulate the earthquake noise with Grustelling.
There we go.
Yes.
Very fitting. Here's the plates hitting.
Yeah.
Literally.
The thing is, you can't do tectonic plates with Lego plates because they lock together. So
just slide two really giant.
If they'd made the Earth out of Lego, we wouldn't have these problems.
I know,
right?
Yeah.
Clutch power. That's what the Earth is missing. Yeah. So that's fun. All this terrible dystopian future is only 50 years from now.
Oh.
So you better learn how to swim.
I don't know. That's again. That seems optimistic.
That seems optimistic. Yeah.
So where do they go from there?
Well, so from there they go to the far future. And on the upside, mankind rebuilds and recovers, which is great. The downside, there's only one tree left in all of Surrey, and it's mostly made out of metal.
Sounds about right.
So that's less good. Also, half the population lives in the wild. It's sort of Mad Max style, while the rest live above them, sort of Logan's Run style, complete with
excellent
capey, vesty things.
I think, in the future, we're going to have a hard time deciding which dystopia we all agree on.
Yes.
So it's going to there's going to have to be somewhere underneath of that, then there's also a Blade Runner universe.
Yeah.
It's just multiple, you can pick your dystopia.
That would be, yeah. I could see, a group of people getting together to create sort of an artisanal dystopia.
Yeah.
We only do small batch dystopia.
Exactly.
So 15 people max.
There'll be some utopians. They'll send them off to the edges. They'll go do your fun thing over there, but we got our dystopia over here.
Yeah. So that could be fun. I do like a choose your own dystopia idea.
So what happens in this dystopia?
Well, it's weird because it's like half utopia, half dystopia. So it's a dystopiopia.
Dystopiopia. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Oddly, they have not coined a word for that.
I think it's called society.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But on the upside, again, there's an elevator to space.
Okay.
So that's nice. So no more annoying spaceship travel. You can just take the maglift elevator.
That seems like an effective use of tax dollars.
Well, do they have taxes in the future, or is it just like, pay to stay inside the boundaries of the good world?
Right.
I don't know. And also another big bonus, clean energy rules the day. They've got wind power,
nice.
Powering everything. That's great. Again, there is a downside to that, as some of the energy is used to power giant lasers and electric fence meant to keep the Mad Max style people out. So that's a
bummer.
That's a bummer. But if you're in the other side of that fence, you're like, hooray for lasers.
Right.
And if you're on the bad side of that fence, you're like, boo hiss lasers.
Is anybody ever boo hiss lasers? I think you'd still be like, those suck, but they're still awesome.
Yeah, you might be like, I'm dying, but what a way.
Yeah, I gotta go. Vaporized.
So that's fun.
Man, that's a lot of work.
It looked amazing. I'd like to congrats to the Vancouver LEGO Club for pulling these together. Every single one of the displays had that Lego style charm and humor just pouring out of them. I think our family, we could have spent 10 hours looking at them, and we still would have found new little details and delights in the displays. Some of the highlights, I don't remember Surrey Crime being as bad as it was in this particular present.
Okay.
As they had Ninjago's Lord Garmadon being surrounded by police as he'd flipped over a car. I don't know if that was profiling against four-armed men or what.
I seem to recall when I lived there, incidents like that taking
Garmadon,
place.
Yeah. There was a Shredder threatening Apu outside the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, bummer.
Which, there's something really wrong with that.
No, Apu could take care of himself.
No, why is he at a 7-Eleven?
Oh.
Who's running his store?
Ooh.
Maybe
he's gone off to get supplies for a Quickie Mart.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
that's where
run out of stuff. I go down.
Just goes to the dumpster in the back of the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
That's where the hot dogs come from. I can see that. Homer doesn't mind. And as we talked before, there's a time traveler in every one of the displays, so that was fun to try. And I didn't find them all, because of crowds and children, my own children, wanting their attention, going all over the place. For whatever reason, they really liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well, as they were everywhere, from the Surreys to hiding on rooftops. There was a lot of, I guess in the near dystopian future, there was a lot of mutation that happened as well.
Makes perfect sense.
I could see that. And apparently a lot of people own turtles and bandanas. That's all you need. Some sort of mutagen, a turtle, and a bandana. You've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle right there. So, in the far future, there was Toy Story aliens, both as cargo and as citizens, which I enjoyed. And they also had Buzz Lightyear piloting a spaceship, and that's always fun to see Buzz get out and about, you know?
Good times.
The worst part about Lego Buzz Lightyear is that he doesn't realize that he's a toy of a toy.
That's very meta.
It really is. Like, he's come to terms with the fact he's a toy, but he doesn't get that he's a toy version of that toy. So,
existential crisis waiting to happen.
Yes. And there's a beautiful Planet of the Apes scene hidden in the far future with an ape on horseback with a couple humans in front of them. The only thing that's odd about that is they did some customization of the female minifigure that I hadn't seen before to make it, let's just say, more thredimensional.
Anatomically correct.
Anatomically correct, yes.
Legotomically
correct. And I thought that's an interesting choice. Somebody had to take the time and effort to design and build that.
Yeah.
And then did. So there's that. I really have no comment on that.
Someone has to live.
It was a great scene, though. It was great to see it, and then I got all excited, and I tried to take a good picture of it, but I don't know if I got a good picture, but there's a picture of it on the website. And And the other thing that was fun is I think every animal Lego has ever made appears somewhere. And some of them I didn't know exist, and now I want them. Like, did you know that there's a Lego ostrich?
I did not know that.
And then I had to ask why I don't own any of these.
Yeah. And then you looked and found out.
They're only $5 each on Bricklink. That's not bad on average.
Right.
That's not bad for something that only ever appeared in one set.
Crazy.
A Prince of Persia set at that. So I'm sure it was a fantastic selling set.
Huh.
But ostriches.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Lego.
Now that you know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
I can't unknow that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with ostriches. I'll probably build an ostrich farm for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. I need them. I'll get them first and then find out the need later.
There's
the
gotta
use.
be some ostrich racing scene you need to create.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. Or I don't know. An ostrich barbecue restaurant. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like where you pick your own lobster.
Right.
But instead they just got a pen of ostriches out back.
The tall one.
Good times. Yeah, so congrats to the Vancouver LEGO Club. Fantastic job. It looks fantastic. And I also want to thank the Surrey Museum for making it so fun. Because they could just have the display and people would come and that'd be great. But they actually put together a checklist of items for kids to find in each of the displays.
That's very cool.
Which was, my kids really enjoyed searching for those and finding them, and they just get excited. And then on the back of it, they've hidden 6 minifigures in the rest of the museum, in the regular displays, and so the kids got to find them.
That's a good way to get you to
it was just kids running around that part looking like, I found one. You're hearing groups of kids, and my kids are freaking out. I think there's one down there. Now, they enjoyed that. Did they actually see any item in any of the displays?
They only saw yellow.
Yeah, exactly. Now, would they have even bothered to look at any of the displays if it weren't for that? Probably not. No. It's a local museum. The displays are things you've seen all the time. Oh, look, old packaging for stuff.
Old stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, radios.
Yeah.
Barn equipment. Woo.
Yeah.
So, but they are very nice displays, very well put together.
It's your obligatory. It's necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a local oldie-timey
It is
museum.
part of the history.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have to put it somewhere.
It's not their fault that we're underwhelmed by awesome history.
Yes.
We'll take plastic.
Yeah, give us the fake history, please. But no, the great job on the whole museum. The other nice thing is that admission is free now, as it's sponsored by Friends of the Surrey Museum and Archive Society. But they do take and deserve donations. Yeah. So if you go, drop a couple bucks in.
Great of them to put this on.
It was fantastic. I would say if you can get to the Surrey Museum before September 19th, 2015, so if you're listening to this in the future, too bad. Go do it. You won't regret it. It's a good afternoon.
Or contact the doctor and go back
to
September 2015.
But again, with Vancouver LEGO Club's history of doing displays at the Surrey Museum, there will be another one. So I imagine this one looked fantastic.
I would love to hear the conversation as you overview this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that comes to me is the conversations they must have had in their meeting to try to decide how to frame this whole thing and what to include in it. And a lot of, I imagine, politicking about, I want this in, and
I don't know. I think a lot of the modern displays, a lot of those buildings would have already been built. So it's just a matter of fitting the display together.
That explains why nobody vetoed the anatomically correct.
You know what? It wasn't offensive.
Right.
It was, I thought, more curiosity than what's going on there.
Right.
But no, I agree. I think there'd be some fun meetings of, let's put this here, let's put that there.
Yeah, those are fun decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just a ton of work but awesome. It really looked cool. Awesome. Good sized displays, fun stuff. So yeah, check it out. That's my recommendation. If you can get there. You won't be disappointed. And if you've visited this exhibit or if you have a Lego exhibit in your neck of the woods that you want everyone to know about, let us know. Come on and post it in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. Again, I'm @stillsorting. And if you like us, again, please review us on iTunes. I don't want to beg, but apparently I will.
Don't make them beg. I don't want to watch it
because we're worth it.
You only hear it. I have to see it.
It's true. There's a lot of groveling.
No.
So do it. It's fun. It's Lego.
Awesome.
All right. Until next time, I'm Jeff.
And I'm James.